Welcome back, people. It is episode 43 of season 4 of the Taxi Squad podcast. We're recording this on a Wednesday. You'll be hearing this on a Thursday. First and foremost, subscribe. Hit that button. Do it somewhere over there at the right. And of course, we got a fair amount to get into today. Strange and unusual topics. So lighthearted and kind today. Can't even tell you. We got some college football material that we must bring to you. We also got some World Series talk. And then, of course, Air It Out is back twice. 2 times this week. And then, of course, NFL breakdown. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. So they're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back, it's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Vinny, who's got it better than us, huh? Who's got it better than us?
Absolutely nobody, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
nobody.
bringing all the positive
Come on.
vibes to everybody today.
Come on, dude. I got something I want to play for you. I didn't tell you this beforehand because I want this to be an honest reaction. So
A new
can I-
live surprise.
Can I do that real quick?
Yeah. Every week
Okay.
they're like this little Christmas gift.
If you're watching it, good. If you're not watching it and you're listening to it, you'll hear it. You can tell what it is. All right, let's go. Let's fucking go, man. Let me start your day off right here.
You know, there's a lot of people that don't think running backs are very important anymore. Don't pick up their fifth-year option. They're not worthy of a first-round pick. Well, I disagree. And last week proved it. And that's what's got me feeling really nicey. Like Ray Davis of the Buffalo Bills. 20 carries, 87 yards. He did it on Monday Night Football, just a rookie. Najee Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. 14 carries, 106 yards. He did it on the road in Vegas. Woo! Joe Mixon, Houston Texans. The Bengals didn't want him. He goes for over 100 yards on 13 carries. 55 yards on a YWAM. Never saw it, did you, Patriots? Derrick Henry.
Dude, all right.
Okay.
I just wanted everybody to
brooding
get that.
on loop for the rest of the episode. Let me tell you what, man.
Yeah.
It goes
Got
like
me
it's-
feeling nicey. Wow, 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 wow.
This is his thing right now. He's
I
a
love
very crazy guy, man. Chucky is Chuck.
I love it. I think
Oh yeah.
he can't be the one coming up with this idea, right? There's no way.
He's got to have a team of people
Yeah.
that completely take care of this stuff, and he just
yeah.
sits in a room with a light on him, looking all goofy, getting jacked up, probably on enough caffeine and zins to choke a small horse.
Yes. But the thing is he times up the bark perfectly every time.
That's just editing.
I don't think so. It's
No?
going full through. In my editing expertise, he's timing it right. So I think someone in the background's playing it, and he's just like, all right, wait for it. Oh! I love
Got
it.
to remember, man, Chucky did a lot of time in that booth, man.
Joe
He's got the
Mixon.
timing. He knows the X's and O's. Does
And
everybody
also-
forget that John Gruden was like Monday Night Football for like
Oh, yeah.
almost 15 years?
Yeah,
So-
until he was like racist and sexist and all that shit. So-
No, that came out after Dan Schneider.
well,
leaked
yeah,
the
he was-
emails.
He was back with the Raiders at that time, right? If I'm not
No,
mistaken.
so basically it was
He
outside
got
emails.
fired
of
from the
Tampa-
Raiders because of that.
Yes, but it's not when he was with the Raiders. It's
Right,
when
he didn't
his
do it-
brother,
yeah.
Jay Gruden, was with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Redskins,
Yep.
now known as the football team,
Yeah.
or what Commanders, aka
Yeah.
the Commies, and basically emailing his brother back and forth, and then
Right.
yeah, it was all in a ploy to, just
Yeah,
Blue
but
streak.
you can't send naked pictures of cheerleaders on company emails.
Oh, they did that?
Yeah, there was a lot of shit that they did in that.
It is the NFL. If you want the perfect interpretation of the NFL, I think the greatest film for that is Any Given Sunday.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Greatest film ever for that.
Speaking of sending nudes to one another in the NFL, did you know Brett Favre has Parkinson's?
No, but he's
Yeah,
maybe the day, he sent the grainy picture of the Pashad to the chiropractor.
yeah.
He knew. By the way,
Or stole
why would you
welfare
do
funds
that?
from Mississippi State.
In court that's been proven false. But
I don't know.
he
Did
was
you read the court
coerced.
case? It wasn't false that it happened. It was false that he was in charge of it. It was false that he had plausible deniability, which doesn't necessarily mean he was not doing that.
Well, are you innocent until proven guilty?
Well,
Or
you
the
could be innocent in a loophole and still technically be guilty, is what my argument is.
Yeah.
Who?
Who?
Should
I
we talk
mean,
about some
he's got it
positive
on
shit, Mike?
lock.
Or were you talking
Yeah,
about-
let's no, I mean you twisted this dark.
I know.
We went from that to that, but no, Vince, I mean, talking about strange and unusual topics is a very lighthearted, easy,
Yeah,
strange and unusual because it's not something you see many days.
it's strange.
It is a little strange. So
Yeah.
after Saturday's ASU game, their kicker really shit the bed.
Bad.
And the head coach came out and basically said, "We're having open tryouts on campus. I don't care if you're a walk-on. I don't care where you are, who you are. He doesn't care who you are, where you're from, as long as you kick the ball well for ASU."
Yep.
So this kid by the name of Nolan Krinsky answered the bell, sent in videos of himself kicking 60-yard bombs and hitting them. So with that being said, we are rooting for you, Nolan Krinsky, and we really do hope you make the team.
Yeah.
Now, this is such a specific skill set that he said he's been trying to walk into the team for 2 years and been practicing to do so. You check out the guy's Twitter page, he's been trying out for a couple different programs and been a part of different training camps in order to do this. But you just hope he catches on because this would be a nice Cinderella story.
Dude, so he had a tryout today, I believe. I think that was the thing. He said it went well. He said he was thankful for the opportunity. We don't know if he got on the team yet. As far as PR is concerned, they probably should just let him on, right?
Like I said, it would be such a wonderful Cinderella.
Yeah, like
He would be the modern age, like, who did this? It's that kid who's kicking for the Cowboys right now who played soccer.
Brandon.
And then he got into the
Brandon Aubrey, or no, yeah, Aubrey. I don't know if it's Brandon. Brandon Aubrey. That sounds right. Final answer.
Either way, we're gonna butcher that one. But either way, the kicker for the Cowboys was 2 years ago, like an insurance salesman. Then tried out just out
He
of
was
the
a
blue, being
soccer player
college
initially.
soccer. Yeah, college soccer player, makes the team. Once again, I will vow that I'm going to train my kid from a very young age, be he a man or a woman, to be a kicker.
Yeah, he said his wife told him, like, if you're going to do this, go do this. And he's like, all right. So he quit and just did it. And now he's the best kicker in the fucking NFL. That's pretty crazy.
You think of great kickers. You think of Adam Vinatieri. You think of Robbie Gold. All these guys are
Jason
just like
Elam.
Jason Elam.
Never
What a
forget
name.
about Jason Elam. What about David Akers, bro?
David Akers, Lefty King, Paul Ettinger.
Yeah. I want to get his jersey. You can't find it anywhere. What about Mike Vanderjaget? Remember him on the Colts?
No,
The initial
it wasn't
kicker.
Vander-
It was Vanderjaget.
Was it Vanderjag?
Jagt. Mike Vanderjaget. Vanderjaget.
Wasn't it Vandigo? Wasn't it Vince? Wasn't it Vandigo?
Nope, Mike Vanderjaget. I'm confident.
Jagged.
Of it. Yep. Yeah,
He's
just watch
by
out
his
with that. Watch out with that one.
Whoa. Boom.
No, we're a Krinsky fan pod. We hope that Kenny Dillingham can do what he needs to do and bring him onto this team. It's not like Arizona State's competing for anything really right now. So let them ride. Bring in the
They
Nolan
did beat
Krinsky.
Utah. They did beat Utah.
Yeah, no, and I think that's gonna segue a little bit into our college football. Like everybody's not everybody, but like for all intents and purposes, everybody's alive right now. Like a couple things can go your way, and you're all of a sudden kind of competing for a little bit of a conference championship when shit comes to play. So I don't know how many college kickers are kicking 60 yards, but granted, it's kind of like the NBA. You can make a 60-yarder until the pressure's in your face and you got to go kick it. But based on this kid's confidence, I would like to see him on the team.
I think it would, once again, it's that Cinderella story that you definitely want to hear.
Yeah.
And if he makes it, it would be one of the best stories in college football, I believe, in a long time, because on a week-to-week basis, it's simply Bama, Texas, who's better, playoffs. Let's bring some good message and some
Let's
good
bring
vibes.
the
And
boom
usually
to Arizona State. One thing's for sure, I don't think that Arizona State's going to be vying for a playoff spot this year, Mike. And
doesn't look to be too promising, Vince.
it feels like there's a lot of teams that will be. So this leads me to my first question for you, given how crazy the weekend was. First question, is there a true number one? And second, and I know I've asked this before, but I want to reiterate, this may be the perfect year for a 12-team playoff because usually there's a top 2, 3, 4 teams that you're like, that should make it. This year, you can go through the top 7 or 8 teams, and I could see any of them winning a national championship this year.
No, I don't. I don't agree with that
You
statement.
think it's just UGA? You think it's just UGA winning it all?
It's UGA. If you look at UGA, aka
Outside of
University
Alabama?
of Georgia,
Yeah.
University of Georgia, they look to be really it. And it's not just necessarily one game against Texas, but they are it. And they
Every
play
week.
probably the best team. Yeah. And except that one game against Bama that Bama somehow figured it out. Another bad game of defense. I mean, even though the under on that game was 58.5, I believe.
Yeah.
In Tennessee, Bama's just looking pretty anemic right now. And I don't know if Josh Heupel is all that he's cracked out to be, but he's doing a pretty damn good job. And Nico, being so young, is growing. So that's good to see and promising for a young football team in Tennessee. But overall, I feel like true number one, if we're going to go 1, 2, 3, give me Georgia,
Yeah.
Texas, and Ohio State.
Oregon nowhere near it.
I never
Dude,
said nowhere near it. I think they're
how
in
does
top five.
How does Ryan Day's dick feel in the back of your throat right now, Mike?
How
Good?
does Ryan Dick's day
Comfy?
feel?
Yeah. How does Ryan Day's dick feel?
That's
in your
not
throat?
it. I just believe that they're a very talented team, and defensively and offensively. I mean, listen. Once again, we talked
Until
about it
they
last week.
face
If
real
Will Howard,
competition. Until they face real competition.
they lost that game by a fucking 2 points.
But you told me Oregon was a fake contender at the beginning of the year.
They won one really big game. They looked anemic against Boise State. They looked anemic against Vermont or whatever the hell it was.
If you can look anemic and win those games, though, I mean, it's them and Penn State and somehow Miami are all undefeated right now.
Well, Penn State has almost lost against a team that gives games away, which we come to see again this weekend. We will gladly get into that because I got some stuff to get off my chest.
Ooh,
but all in all, right
Ryan
now,
Day's
I do believe.
Okay, I'm done.
Hey, take it easy. Take it easy. You don't got a lot of room to talk.
Take it easy.
With your team out there beating the Hanley School for the Blind decisively.
Speaking of not a lot of room to talk, watch out. Georgia Tech's a favorable opponent.
Okay, we started off the season hot. We're not that hot right now.
Yep.
And I think this could be the lowest of lows for USC. But I feel like some teams haven't hit rock bottom yet. Now, the two teams, in my opinion, that have hit rock bottom, let's give me A, Michigan, and give me B, OU.
Oh.
Rock bottom. There is no future for
Brett Venables re-signed this offseason for more money because they were going to the SEC. He re-signed for more money.
When you look at a team that switches conferences, for example, let's look at BYU, for example. They are fucking people up. Now, they had a smidge of a drag race against a tough OSU team because Gundy and those boys don't know the word quit. BYU right now has the full opportunity to win the Big 12.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Or Kansas State.
it's just that one loss. Now,
Yeah.
it's K-State. The real question is, when does BYU play K-State, or do they?
Do
Now,
you know how
that could
many
be a game.
wives Brigham Young had?
They already played a few weeks ago. What are we talking about? And BYU destroyed them 38-9 at home.
Yeah, that'll do
So,
it.
granted, the problem with college football is that from week 1 to now, what week are we in? 7 or 8?
Yeah, whatever it would be if you're including 0. I think we're in 8. I think we just finished 8.
We're in 8. We're headed into week 9. The landscape of college football completely has changed.
Yeah.
And now it looks like something completely different than what it did weeks 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Because these
sure.
guys don't have a preseason and they have their tune-up games. But now when teams start to mesh or fall apart, that's when you start to see teams really come out of nowhere.
You know how many wives Brigham Young had?
Wives?
Yeah. The founder of BYU. The second founder of, not the founder of BYU, but the second founder of the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Well, Mormons would tell you soaking, bed kicking, no booze, maybe a little
soda pop.
Maybe a little grape soda, potentially, just potentially, some inbreeding, a little cousin fucking going on.
We're not saying anything. It's just
I'm
what we've heard.
I'm gonna say 20.
Oh, well, why don't you double that and add 16 to it, baby? He had 56. He had 57 kids with 16 of them.
Does it give you age ranges? Is like what ages were what to what?
I don't know. Let me look. I found this out the other day. I'm like, holy moly. 9 predeceased him, 10 divorced him, 23 survived him, and 4 are accounted for the wives. No, I don't have an age range. I would say considerable.
So wife loves to watch the Mormon Lady show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of this. What is it called? It's on A&E.
Keeping Up with the Mormons.
If
you're a Mormon, I'm sorry. This might get a little out of pocket, but
that's your religion. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying. By all means.
I mean, we make fun of what we grew up with as Catholic all the time. So,
oh man,
right?
Jerry Sandusky learned from them. Go on.
God, if you believe in that thing, does have a sense of humor. So, with that being said, have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And if it's sick, it's sick. Sometimes we're a little sick. With all that, it is a show that documents a polygamous family.
Mm.
And they have 5 wives. And this guy preferential treatments each wife a little differently each month. Like one time he'll spend more time with one. And their perfect idea was to have a cabin in Flagstaff and have the perfect utopia.
Yeah, Arizona tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them here. They're not converted me. I haven't had any door knocks.
You won't. Well, you're living where society is, but I've heard a couple things about weird religious cult things going on in the boondocks of Zona.
That completely is plausible. I mean, any rural area, I feel like that can happen.
Yeah. Appalachia, wild. The top of Idaho, don't even think about looking that up. That gets scary quick.
Have you ever heard of the West Virginia incest problem that they have there? We talked earlier about cousin fucking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mountaineers.
Remember when we started the show and we're like, positive, we're going to start it off with positive here. We're not going to say anything bad. And now we're talking about inbreeding and skinhead cults in Idaho. So here we are, baby.
Welcome to the Taxi Squad. So, Vince, to your point, there's a lot of teams here that I think very well could win their conferences and move into that 12-team bracket. What are your thoughts right now?
My thoughts are almost solely, well, my thoughts are about my team. First off, NIU is long gone, 6-1. We have 2 ranked games later in the season, and that's who I'm thinking about because I'm thinking about the service academies, baby. Army and Navy, both undefeated. Army and Navy meet possibly in the American Conference Championship to decide if either of them make the playoff if they both go undefeated. We know they won't because of Notre Dame, knock on all the wood. But if they win, whoever wins that conference championship will likely go to the playoff. And then 6 days later, they play each other again. And that doesn't have any bearing on the playoff. So Navy beats Army last game of the season. Navy goes to the playoff. Army shits on them a week later. That's possible, and it wouldn't have any bearing on the playoffs because it'll be chosen already. Service academies haven't been this good since Hitler was in charge of Germany. Crazy. Crazy, dude.
I mean, those seamen and servicemen, they're doing their thing right now.
Yeah. You thought we were
And
going
for
to Hitler
you-
there? No, you didn't.
No, not going to transition, not going to Hitler.
You're not going there?
It's like, do you know who wrote The Great Gatsby? Judy Blume? Hitler?
Hitler.
If you look at Navy right now, I am so excited for this game on Saturday because this, to me, is the best opponent you guys have played since Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'd
And the
say
record
so.
don't lie. The record
Yeah.
don't lie.
Yeah.
So
But,
put up or shut up.
You're the king of how hard was their schedule. Come on now,
I mean,
buddy.
what else are you supposed to go off of? Now,
I
let's
know, but if you're
transition on this
talking
topic.
about Navy or if you're talking about Army, look at their schedule, bro.
Yeah, they play Tulsa twice. It's fine.
It's
So-
Bucknell, Temple, Memphis, UAB, Air Force, Charlotte. Like
Okay.
they could, and that's why they're undefeated and 24th in the nation. I'll give them that. And I'm not a schedule shamer. You play, you play. But this is easily the hardest matchup they have as well this year.
Charlotte's building a program.
Come on.
Hey, heck
They
yeah.
won 51-17.
There you go. So let's stay on that topic about undefeated teams and their schedules.
Yeah.
Right now, there is a plausible thought process that you could see 3 teams heading in to the end of the season, all undefeated, all in the same conference. Do you know who
ACC,
those-
correct?
No, it's the Big Ten.
Really?
You have Indiana, Oregon, Penn State, all
Ah.
undefeated.
Yeah.
And
Can't that
if you
happen
look
in the ACC too, or no?
It potentially could.
Yeah.
Or you mean the AAC, the American Football Conference? With
No, I was talking
Army.
about it's what, Miami? Is Pittsburgh in the ACC?
Yeah,
Pittsburgh's undefeated right now. Whoever the last one is. I think I heard that earlier. That's a half-baked take. Yeah. I just go ahead.
3 teams at the top of one conference could all be undefeated, and then at that stage of the game, who do you pick? Because Indiana really has nobody left.
Do they
on their
not play each
schedule.
other?
Nope.
Oh boy.
Now Indiana does play Ohio State on the 23rd of November.
Okay. But Ohio
Which
State
could, in
already has
fact,
lost
be.
because they're fake. Oh yeah. No, I was right, dude. No, I wasn't.
There you go. So it is plausible to say that is the case. Now, if at that point in time Ohio State loses to Indiana, but there's still a road. There is still a road. Oregon and
mean,
Penn
Ohio-
State really have nobody else on their
Yeah.
record here that really worry you other than Oregon, other than Michigan, Illinois, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington. That's it.
Illinois is kind of a fucking team. Illinois is kind of a team, man, and Michigan sucks.
They're sneaky. Yeah, Michigan probably should have won that game, but didn't. Although those boys were hyped at U of I. You got to give them their roses. They were in their
Yeah.
old Leatherhead throwbacks.
Okay, how'd you
Really
feel about those? This is a show
They're
about
kinda
uniforms.
They're kind of ugly, but
They
they're
were
kind of
wild. I agree with you entirely. I spent my Saturday at the DraftKings Sportsbook in Wrigley.
Cool. Oh, was it
and
open?
It was open. It's open during the day. It's not open after 11 p.m. That was always our issue. We were watching the game, and my friend Josh, shout out Josh, probably listening, love you. He's like, "What the fuck is that? What are they doing over there? Why are they wearing that shit? That looks horrible." And I was like, I liked the idea when I saw it on Twitter, and then I saw it in real life, and I was like, "That's nasty looking." But it was kind of cool because it's a throwback. But he's like, "Why did they just put them in those helmets? They just put them in the normal leather helmets and call it a day?" Because it was nasty looking on the helmet with the gloss on it. I don't know about all that.
It's like the girl on her Tinder profile that you're like, oh, she's kind of a baddie. And then you meet her in person and you're like, oh, you've gained 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to
And then
pick
you
your best
just pick,
pictures, man. I don't blame her.
oh, you got to pick the best pictures. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. But then
Don't
again,
play
you
the
can't.
player.
Yeah, don't play the player. That's when you call your friend and you say, hey, say you have, I don't know,
Ulcerative
fire on.
colitis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Say
yeah.
say you're having some sort of episode because I need to get the fuck out of here. If
Yeah.
you've never done that in your life, I don't believe you. But as we continue to look at this, let's start off our review of some of these games. Bama, Tennessee. Vince, is Bama exposed?
I think there's trouble in Tuscaloosa for a man named Kalen DeBoer. No, I think that similar to how the Patriots are kind of playing this year, I think that locker room loosened up a little bit. I think that team loosened up a little bit. I think Jalen Milroe is all-time overrated. We were saying that last year. He's good. He's not great. He's fast. He's not accurate. It's like, I think Josh Heupel is a good coach. I think Tennessee, best defense in the entire country? Certainly
No.
close. Close.
No.
Who's
Georgia's
gonna?
the best defense in the entire country.
I don't know. Georgia played the
I
same
do.
fucking team and lost.
They played that team in a big environment.
Yeah. In the
And for
first
whatever
half,
reason,
they scored
Kirby
like 50 fucking points.
Kirby can't play in Tuscaloosa. He cannot. He cannot
Yeah,
play
but
there.
that
They
can't
don't.
be at all. Like, I think it's a little dismissive to be like Kirby can't win there, so that's why. Like, I think Tennessee is a real.
Look at his record against Bama. He's been
It's.
capable of doing it.
I agree, but what I will say is it's not like, no, Georgia's way better. It's like 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. I think it's a close 1-2. I don't think it's very far away, if it is at all.
Well,
Tennessee's
considering though, Georgia only let Texas put up 15 points on them, and that's
Hey, I
considered
agree.
to be one of the best offensive lines and offensively talented teams in the country.
I don't think it's that big of a difference. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think Tennessee has a place in the conversation, if that makes sense.
They were nails on Saturday. It looked really good. I took the over. Immediate regret.
Yeah.
And I told, of course, your friends who ask you for betting advice will do this. Good
Yep.
friend of mine, Tony, loves to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Tony will call you or text you, what do you like today? I'll just say, spit it out. Give me Bama, give me the over. Because the last time these two teams played, it was a shootout.
Yep.
And it was close. It was the inverse of that this past week. It was technically a shootout, but low scoring and a lot of defense. So Nico in particular played very well. I thought using his legs and knowing when to just dip and not overtrust his arm, I think that worked for him.
Yeah.
But Bama just couldn't get out of their own way offensively, and they were kind of just shut down in the pass game.
I mean, if you can't run the ball, which they couldn't, Jalen turns the ball over. I don't think it's a team that you can turn the ball over because I don't think you could score that much on Tennessee. I really don't. Especially the second half. First half felt like Alabama's going to crawl their way to victory. And then the second half, the defense just let up. There's a couple teams this year where the defense just lets shit up when they can't. I think Alabama counts on that as well. I don't think Alabama's going to make it into the playoff unless they have a crazy fucking time here.
Well, if you look at the rest of Alabama's schedule, it doesn't look to be world-beating. You have Missouri, you have LSU and Death Valley.
Mercer. That's the thing. You get Missouri, who are falling off a little bit right now.
Overrated.
Yeah.
No offense to Mizzou, overrated.
Speaking of the complete opposite, LSU is playing a hell of a lot better now than they were at the beginning of the season.
Oh, jeez.
That's for sure. You telling me that's wrong?
I really dislike crying Brian Kelly.
I know, me too.
It's the one thing I think Vince and I both agree on with Notre
Yeah.
Dame, that crying Brian is kind of a turd.
He's a
and he cries a
turd.
lot.
Yeah.
And you got Texas A&M on their schedule. They came into Arkansas, played tough. They looked good. And you look at Texas A&M and Texas, they got some difficult road games. They got some pretty layup-based home games with, Oklahoma. Vanderbilt could be considered that because what's Vandy
Vandy's
done
good. Vandy's
They're
good
okay.
now. It's a different team.
But going into a harsh environment like that, it's always very difficult.
Yeah,
So with
100%.
that being
Yeah.
said, Bama may have a road. Their schedule just doesn't look too crazy beyond Missouri and LSU.
Well, you're going to have to justify it. I mean, the Vanderbilt loss was bad. The Tennessee loss, less
Similar,
bad. Right? Like, it's less bad, but like,
similar to what the committee likes to do when considering those last two teams. You go off of record in years past, and then if your name's Notre Dame, somehow you get a hard fucking pass.
oh my
And
God,
then-
they're 6-1. They're 6-1, dude.
Okay, I digress.
You think
It's-
Alabama should get in there on 5-2 and Notre Dame's 6-1, and they can, and if they go,
I believe if
they run
Notre
the table
Dame
and they beat
plays
2 more ranked
Alabama,
teams.
9 out of 10 times Alabama wins that game.
Same team, good defense, running quarterback, can't throw the ball. It's great. Same team.
Okay, just saying, very different teams, very different programs. But
Okay.
it's still one of those situations that I could see Bama finding their way in. Now, you're going to have a stacked SEC, though. That's the problem.
That's the
with
thing. You're letting
Texas
Texas A&M in before Bama. You're letting
Okay.
Tennessee in. You're letting LSU in before Bama. You're letting Georgia in. You're letting Texas in before Bama. You can't let 7 of the 12 teams be in SEC. You can't do that.
No, I agree that. I agree with that. It will be a far more difficult road. They need to go undefeated. They need to win.
Oh, easy. If they lose again, like they're not even ranked.
I do disagree, though, how LSU is ranked 8th, considering their strength of schedule and who they play.
They've been playing well.
How are they ranked 8th? They have played Ole Miss. They have played USC, who, as we will talk about, has done not so much. And UCLA. Like, these teams that they are playing are nothing.
I mean, Ole Miss is they were a top 10 team when they beat them. They're still 18th
Yeah.
in the nation. It's not like it's fucking soup to nuts.
Is there a plausible thought that Ole Miss may get considered over Alabama if Ole Miss wins out for the rest of the season?
Yeah, right. They
gotta
have
be.
what? They have what? What? They have 1 loss right now? Or are they 2?
Yeah,
They have 2 losses. Who was their other loss?
Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
So you look at that conference right now, there's nothing
I
to
don't
sit
know.
there and tell you.
There's room for 5 teams in the SEC.
They're 1 and 2 in the conference.
Yeah.
So Ole Miss right now, they need to go
They're
put a
done.
hurting.
They're
They need to put a hurting on everybody the rest of the season if they're even going to be considered.
That's-
And they get Georgia in 2 weeks. So there's
Yeah.
that.
second best defense in the nation.
If second best team in the nation.
Can we talk about the Big Ten?
Let's talk about the Big Ten.
Can we talk about
Yeah.
fucking Bloomington, Indiana right now, dude?
It is impressive to watch.
Place to be.
This man is doing some pretty special stuff that he absolutely decimated a Nebraska team where on the first 4 weeks, everybody was like, they are it. Raiola is the next Mahomes because he kind of looks like him.
Dude,
And
I
now it's
fucking
like-
smoked him. Dude, I like Sig the same way I like Sig after about 12 drinks on a Saturday night. I'll tell you that. That motherfucker rocks. He's fun to
Who?
follow. Sig, Kurt Signetti.
Oh, we're giving
Come
him a
on.
nickname already.
Yeah,
Kurt
and you gotta
Signetti,
call him
yes.
Sig. Call him Drunk Sig. I love
Are
him.
you calling him? Is his new nickname Drunk Sick? Google
I'll
him.
do it. I love him. I love Drunk Sig. Yeah, Google me. No, they're so fun, dude. The team's so fun. Kurt Signetti only wins. Like he said, dude, he did it at
Wins.
JMU. You watch JMU this year. JMU's not a very good team this year. They were last year. He goes to Indiana, turns that program around in fucking, 8 weeks?
He's a Bama Saban prodigy
He's
guy.
a gamer.
It looks to be it. They had a group of transfers, man, and that they play very well together. It wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Just gonna roll this out there that Kurt Signetti within the next 5 years gets offered to go take over a big time SEC school.
That or he gives the NFL a shot. I feel like at some point he's going to want to try to go pro. And I don't know if it's going to work the same way, but who knows? Depends on where the money is.
We always get in that debate. What's better? What's better than being an NFL?
NFL is way better than college. You don't have to recruit.
Recruiting's got to be difficult. You just pick who you want.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get stuck. The thing is like the leash sometimes, depending on the school or the team, is a little bit shorter in the NFL. Speaking of short leashes and possible massive buyouts, Lincoln Riley, Mike. Should we talk about him? Should we open up this conversation?
Oh, we want to go here? We're going here?
It's on our list, baby. We got to talk about it at some point.
Okay. All right. So now, 2 weeks in a row, 1-score losses. It is really bad considering each of those 3 games, you go into each fourth quarter with a 7-point lead. And right now you're 1-4 in a Big Ten conference that's pretty stacked. They're learning pretty quickly that when you play in the Big Ten, you're going to play some defensive powerhouses. Now, in these past 3 consecutive losses, which it is 3 consecutive losses.
Yeah.
You have now gotten to a point where you've lost 3 games by only a margin of, let's look at that, 7 points.
Yeah, it's Oppo Kirk Cousins. Instead of winning them all by 1, they're losing them all by 1.
So Lincoln Riley is under some scrutiny, of course, and I'm a part of a lot of UFC fan pages on the Instagram, and everybody's calling for his head, and I completely understand the reasoning behind it. I'm impeccably frustrated. But if you look at years in the past, granted, Clay Helton had a better record than he did at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
so
we did that Wikipedia search. Yeah, we did that.
But it was the Pac-12, so it was a lot
True.
different then. The conference wasn't the strength it is now. It's a lot different to compare apples to apples because it's not. So many listeners of this show don't like Lincoln Riley. I know that. I'm kind of the exception.
I don't dislike him, but there's flaws.
Everybody will say, what has he done? Okay.
What has he done?
What have a lot of these coaches done? What has Lane Kiffin done other than win a Rose Bowl?
I'd say he's done a lot of co-eds.
I'd say Lane Kiffin likes to lay the hammer down.
Yeah, hammer down.
But I believe in what's being built in Southern California. It's his 3rd year. He has a 2 redshirt left and right tackles, and basically a completely sophomore offensive line. So there's that. Granted, you have a lot of talent. A brand new defensive coordinator bringing in an entirely new system with entirely new players. I think they only had like 4 or 5 guys on that defense stay. So there's a lot of things here, in my opinion, that are building blocks. If you go back and look at Texas when the Booger Eater took over there, a.k.a. Steve Sarkisian, he lost, and that Texas team lost against good teams by a small margin, and they would always be winning at the
half.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's kind of my point as a fan where I look at the body of work and I'm like, okay, you guys have places to go. Miller Moss, first-year starter. This next year could look a lot different if the program remains consistent. Now, if next year this same thing is still happening, done. But
gotta find a
next
defense.
year,
gotta find a defense.
Well, you also have to keep putting up points on offense after the fucking
Halftime.
first half.
Yeah.
So when you
Maryland's
go in,
not good, Mike.
Maryland's
good,
not good, Vince. I know Maryland's not good, nor is Minnesota.
Yeah.
But when you look at a Penn State team, we almost count some horseshoes and hand grenades. But we gave them a run for their money, and that
It's
team's
true.
undefeated in a very difficult conference, i.e. the Big Ten.
You're a kick away. I mean, literally, it was tied going in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're there, and you completely just Jay Feely a kick. You know, what are you supposed to do? For anybody who doesn't get that reference, Google the Vikings.
You're supposed to make that
Right.
kick, I believe.
You're supposed to make that kick. It's the real fan in me just wants to be like, scorched earth, fuck them. They're all dead to me.
Well,
Let's start somebody new. But the problem is, if you go get another head coach, who the hell are you going to get? Maybe we could go Kirk Cignetti. Maybe Cignetti's open.
Indiana loves him. I think he's staying for a couple more years.
Could be.
Dude, drunk Sig in California? Yeah, I'll take it. I'm in.
Be cool.
Yeah, there was a man that used to coach at Texas A&M. By the name of Mike.
Are you going to do this right now?
No, I'm not. Just who used to coach there?
Oh God, we talked about him a lot in the first half of the podcast.
He won a national championship.
Jimbo.
For State. Yeah.
Jimbo.
I'm not going to compare them as coaches. I'm going to compare them as buyouts. Jimbo Fisher had like a $75 million buyout or something crazy like that. Upon my research today, Lane Kiffin, Lincoln Riley's buyout, essentially equivalent to that. I don't think they're going to give up on him easy. I know USC's a massive team, but I don't think they're going to spend $75 million to buy him out and go get a new coach where there's nowhere to find. I think he's got 2 years. If next year's really bad, then maybe you pull the plug, but I don't think they're going to do it that fast, knowing that they moved into a completely new conference. I do think he needs to figure out how to have a fucking defense. He needs to figure that out. It's never happened. You look at every team he's ever had, they've never had a fucking defense, and they always have a Heisman quarterback.
You have 2 years of maybe the best quarterback in all of college football, and he's proving that at the next level.
The Bears.
Now you have a brand new starting freshman QB, and the team cannot put up points in the second half.
Yep.
In college football, second half adjustments are everything, and I feel as if something here is a big misstep in the half. So either your team's getting all high on their horses and they're coasting the second half and not finishing football games. Because as I've stated from now, what is it, week? So since week 6, it's been not finishing football games.
I would like to ask nobody go back and listen to College Football Week 2 podcast about USC. Don't go back and listen to it. Don't listen to what Mike said.
I was excited. We had 2 really big wins back to back. 3 in a row,
Don't listen about
actually.
the team learning how to tackle. Don't listen about the team scoring off the handle. We're fine. Just don't go back and listen to that, please. Don't do that to my boy.
Vince, okay. It started with the Michigan game, and since then we thought it was getting better after you dropped 4 from Wisconsin, but as we've put, Wisconsin isn't anybody. So the landscape of the game continues to change.
They're playing kind of well recently, Wisconsin is.
Now, my Super Bowl, so what I get to look forward to now is my Super Bowl, which will be watching USC Notre Dame. And
play like a champion today is all I got to say. Okay. Heisman hopeful.
Timeout.
Yeah.
If USC or ND wins, we need to put a wager on this. And you don't have to answer this week, but there needs to be a bet on this.
Yeah, well, think
because
about
it's
that.
the last game of the season, and there needs to be something of a punishment or something needs to be done.
Dude, the way this shit goes and the way this shit has gone in the past is Notre Dame's gonna have one loss going into that game. We're gonna wager something on there. I'm gonna be happy and confident. They're gonna fucking lose. I'm gonna lose it. Your team's gonna have like 4 losses in the season, and somehow you're still gonna come out on top. And I can't take that. I can't take that emotionally. But we'll talk about it. I think we do have to do that. But I already know. I see it in the fucking stars the way this shit usually works out. So I agree.
Somebody will ultimately be the mush. That's
We'll
the
talk
point.
about it. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks. Heisman hopeful Cam Ward saves Miami again. That's the headline, baby.
Yeah.
Because that team cannot get to a fourth quarter without being either down 3 or down 7 or just up 3. They can't do it. They can't blow a team out. It's always going to be a close game, whether or not it's 25 points or 52. I don't understand it.
Here-
They're USC East. They're USC East now, Mike.
Oh, dick.
I love you, Sean. I'm sorry.
Cam Ward is
Yeah.
fantastic.
He's
your point-
amazing. He's a gamer.
Defense, not very good right now in Miami. Mario Cristobal needs to figure that one out.
Mhm.
My real question, though, is the team paying Michael Irvin to be on the sideline as a
Dude.
crackhead, or is he still smoking crack?
I think he's
There's
part,
my next question.
I think he's part of the staff. We were asking it while we were watching it. He has some role in the staff, similar to like McConaughey or some shit.
He's like on the ground, like barking like a dog.
Yep. Yeah, he's
And
on all
like-
fours. Yeah.
This man is insane. So I look at this and I'm like, he's got to still be on the. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know if he's on crack. I'm not going to say that. I would like to bring
Arrest him
something to
for
your.
crack cocaine.
Yes, for sure. Hey, man, people do it. I'd like to bring to your attention a man, Xavier Restrepo. We've been talking about him a lot this year. Restrepo was 4th all-time in receiving for Miami, behind Santana Moss, Reggie Wayne, and Michael Irvin. Restrepo has 2,400, essentially, 2,403. Santana Moss is 2,547. He essentially will be passing 2, if not 3 of them in the next 2 weeks right now. So just keep an eye on that. Xavier Restrepo could very well be the leader all time in Miami passing yards. Passing receiving
First wide
yards.
receiver taken this year in the draft.
Oh, yeah, because like a lot of the wide receiver talent is young right now. I don't know if they'll be able
Uh-huh.
to go out. He
Uh-huh.
could be. He's a little dodgy across the field slot guy.
He fits a lot of places, just saying. So
Little Cooper
Restrepo,
Cup type too, man. Come on now.
yeah, he's a clean route runner, and he makes people come out of their shoes. He's fun to watch, and him and Cam Ward are fun to watch. And there's the thing, I don't think Cam Ward is a day 1 guy. I think Cam Ward is either a day 2 or a day 3 guy.
Depends on what he does for the rest of the season going into the playoffs. If he's like a real fucking gamer, if he can go out there and do that against really good teams, that's fine. But this team scares me against anybody that's worth a shit. Because, like, again, like, Louisville's not that good, but they do play close games, and they've done that a lot this year. But it's been, like, Virginia Tech, when they played them, they got away with highway murder, kind of. Even though it probably wasn't a catch and all that stuff and blah, 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 and how the refs catch it. But I don't think it was. But you can't let the refs decide what happens to you and your fate like that. If you're playing a better team, like, that's a bad situation.
So, if you look at that whole situation, that the fact that was even a call on the field of a catch,
Yeah.
I don't know how much they still came back and won. Cam Ward and Restrepo came back and won that game.
Yep.
And then the game against Cal, just too close for comfort in that way. If you look at the ACC right now, I mean, man, it's difficult to see how any other team doesn't pull away with this whole conference other than
Well, that's what
Clemson.
I'm saying. It's like Pittsburgh. That's really the only other team that can do anything, but they really can't.
I think
They're
a
not
game
like that.
to circle for the rest of the year, their schedule is just not that difficult.
That's what I'm saying. And then you get
That's-
into the playoff and you're playing a top 12 team. Like, what the fuck? What's going to happen
A
there?
lot of all conference play though. And conference play in the NCAA is so interesting.
Yeah. Sport.
Right? So you have Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Florida State. Florida State, I think that team's completely given up.
They're so bad.
They're done.
They're
I
so
think
bad.
like DJ Ugalele may be the biggest fall from grace you've seen in college.
He might
football
not be
in a very-
drafted next year, which is
He's
crazy
not
to
going to
say
be
at the
drafted.
beginning of
There
his
is
college
there
career.
is no shot. There's no shot. So Vince, your team this week. Let's transition to the independent.
Listen, man.
Plays plays Georgia Tech. First half, close game.
Yep.
Dog fight it out. Second half, not so
Easy
much.
dubs. Second half, play defense. Good for you. Yeah, worried as fuck in the first quarter. Again, sitting at DraftKings with a couple of my buddies. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And like, my friend Josh was like, I'm going to maybe throw a couple down. I'm going to bet on your boys. I'm like, every line on this is fucking atrocious. I can't pick one. I'm like, Riley Leonard rushing yards. He bets 50. Riley Leonard gets 51 rushing yards. That's how Notre Dame is. Wins him the whole bet. Very good. I like that a lot.
Take it.
Man, took care of the ball. One interception, I'll take it from Riley Leonard all day. No passing touchdowns. Fuck it, it's fine. This is a team that leans on the defense. This is a team that leans on the run game. And this is a team that throws the ball to the halfback in the corner and he runs and you try to make something out of it. I'm not going to be fucking delusional as to what this team is, but you can win games being scrappy like this, and I'll take it every day. Georgia Tech's not a bad team. Georgia Tech's 5-2 going into that game. Notre Dame's 5-1 going into that game. They took care of business in the second half. I wasn't worried after the middle of the third quarter, so I'll take it.
Okay. Let's move into this week, shall we?
Oh, yeah,
So you
and
got
then we
the
play
Shipman.
a ranked opponent next week, so watch out for that.
Okay, so what are your thoughts? We talked about it earlier. You got Army and Navy, gunning undefeated. Granted, they don't play a lot of people, nor do you guys. So
Yeah.
what are your
Well,
thoughts?
It's just
Two
about as
teams that
hard
don't
as your
play a lot of
schedule,
people.
so it's all right. We're fine.
Wrong.
We're okay.
Wrong.
I don't know.
Wrong.
14th in the nation, we play them. Louisville, pretty good team. We play them. Georgia Tech, 2 other ranked teams going into this. They need to win out to go to the playoff. If they win out, there will be in the playoff. There's like a rule in it that's like the independent team, if they are 6-1, depending on their wins, like they'll make it. So we have to do that. I'm truly actually worried about Army and Navy for the first time in my entire Notre Dame fandom experience, which is weird to fucking say, but they run the ball so well. It's run it right in your face offense all the time. So it's just going to be run against run. What defenses can play better? Florida State, we better fucking beat them. That's the thing. Like, if we lose to Florida State, we don't deserve to be in the fucking playoff. I think it'll be fine. I'm interested to see what happens on November 30th. I have a horrible feeling about it just because it's you and you have a way to just ruin my dreams and hopes. I don't like rooting against the team that you root for because you just have a way to just ruin my day.
Well, hey, how about my Georgia bet? I picked Georgia. Told everybody
well,
they
that's
were
the
going to
thing
walk
too.
into Texas and slap them. And
I'm trying to get a cheeky little bet going on Saturday. I'm like, Mike, who do you like? And he's like, Georgia. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you picking against the #1 team in the nation? No way that's going to happen. I walk out. I'm like, should have taken that fucking bet. God damn it.
You're welcome, everybody. Just saying.
Yeah.
Now, my Bama bet came out late, but I didn't say it on the pod. But roll with this guy.
I took Tennessee, baby. I took Tennessee, and it worked out. And we took the LSU over, and that worked out too. So thank you very much. Ding dong.
Death Valley's fun. Now, look at this week. There's nothing really you like. A team that may give LSU a problem, I could see this being a thing, is LSU going into Texas A&M at Kyle Field. And
I think A&M's good.
Crying Brian returns.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a tough environment. And they've had half a season to figure it out. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun one to watch. The rest of the week, you got Kansas State. That's always a toss-up. That's a fun game to watch.
How about Ohio State, Penn State, Mike? Or is that next weekend? That's next weekend.
Yeah, that's next weekend.
Which that'll be fun. Ohio State might lose to Nebraska.
I don't think Ohio State has a
I've
chance
gone
to lose to Nebraska.
Final form. Fuck Ohio State. Like, I didn't think I was going to be like this. That team annoys the fuck out of me. They have a great wide receiver. Something about him just pisses me off, and I don't know why.
You're just not a Ryan Day guy.
I know. I think it's like his rosy cheeks and his like demeanor, and I just don't think he's like very good. What do you say?
I'm a rosy boy.
Yeah, me too.
Man
Maybe
right
that's
now.
like stop posing us, dude. Like fuck you. Get your own cheeks.
No, you're just mad that
he yelled at Lou Holtz.
You're just mad he yelled at Lou Holtz, but
and
Lou
that
Holtz had it
bullshit
coming.
fucking game. That game was such bullshit, and I'm still
Lou
mad about it.
Holtz-
That's
Lou
elder
Holtz
abuse.
had it
That's
coming.
elder abuse, and you know it. And you can't do that to older people. You got to respect your elders. You're
Now,
Italian.
Lou Holtz may have a little dementia. They haven't
Yeah,
figured
you
it out
think?
quite yet, but
You
sometimes
think, dude?
he just gets on his high horse and runs it. So
Yeah, agreed.
there's
Washington, Indiana might be fun. I want to keep this Indiana dream alive. I think it'd be very fun.
they're gonna smoke them.
Yeah.
They're going to just drag race. Just yeah.
I agree, because Indiana ain't Michigan, I'll tell you that. And then obviously my game I'll get up for. I'm gonna be ready for that. Notre Dame Navy, baby. We'll see what happens. I've never been
gonna
worried
be-
about Navy. This is fucking stupid. I hate this.
This is going to be a fun game to watch. I will be up for it as well. It's a 9 a.m. game of all time.
For you.
So that's always
Yeah.
fun.
11 for
Well, that's
me.
the interesting thing. Although after November 9th, I got like 2 weeks.
And then it's
we
back
go,
to yeah.
Yeah, then we go to an hour. So college football this week, not the greatest, but as you all know, there's always 1 or 2 or 3 games here that are always just a barn burner and are fun. So
Win the
we
games
hope-
you gotta. Win the games you gotta.
Exactly. All right, Vince. So let's go ahead and talk.
Basketball. We got the basketball. It's back.
If you're
Mike.
new to this podcast, you will know one thing. Mike is not necessarily a basketball guy, especially during the regular season. So a lot of this is Vince talking about basketball.
I love
Vince,
basketball.
talk about basketball.
I love basketball, and also you have become a bigger basketball fan in the last 2 years or so than before because of storylines and me force feeding it to you. I think you like it a little bit more. I'm trying to fatten that basketball dog in you, buddy. Speaking of crazy storylines, LeBron and Bronny take the court together.
Oh, fuck. Nepotism at its finest. Here we go.
Cool. Is it? This is the thing. Ken Griffey Jr. takes the field with his dad. His dad has a very good MLB career. Ken Griffey Jr., Hall of Famer. They take it. Can I?
Nope.
You can't
Don't
time
compare.
out me in the.
Don't compare the two.
Let me finish what I'm saying. I think you're gonna like what I got to say here. I'm not comparing the two. Ken Griffey Jr. plays with his dad. His dad very good at baseball. Ken Griffey Jr. astronomically better than him. Maybe not astronomically, but at least Earth to Mars. He gets drafted by the Seattle Mariners, and he becomes essentially an MVP for them and a Hall of Famer in baseball. LeBron James is, by all intents and purposes, the second best basketball player of all time. His son was a bench player for USC and gets drafted by the Lakers because LeBron James plays for the team. His son's going to be in the G League in November, but they wanted to, quote, make history by putting them both on the court together, which is very cool. Kind of, except he didn't fucking belong there. He was just there because JJ Redick's the coach and LeBron James is on the fucking team, and they're going to do whatever they want with him. So people were like, this is really cool. And I was like, yeah, first time it's happened, that's kind of cool. Did he belong there? No, because anybody else that has a son in the NBA that isn't named LeBron James doesn't get the ability to just draft him in the second round and waste a draft pick to put him there. It's stupid, but it's kind of cool.
You want to hear my impression of them starting their day together?
Ugh, I don't know.
Ready?
Yeah.
Because I bet you Bronny Jr. still lives at home. So it's like the big day.
Yeah.
They both wake up and you'd be like, good morning, Dad. Hello, son. You'd sleep well today? Yeah, Dad. Are you ready to go to the court, son? Are you ready to play for the Lakers? Can't wait, Dad. And then they show up and he shits the bed and LeBron's like,
he played 3 minutes. It is what it is. It was all for optics.
Or
but
money. Or
well, yeah, because they also got a Nike commercial together, and that's the thing. He's a
course.
marketing genius. It is what it is. All I have to say is my take was probably kind of in line with what you had to say. Yes or no?
nepotism at its finest.
That's what I was saying. Never would have
All this-
compared them. Now, Lonzo Ball's back. The Bulls are a dumpster fire. Zach LaVine needs to get traded. Vucevic needs to get traded. Both of those will be very difficult. The Bulls are going to have to trade Zach LaVine and maybe a draft pick or two to get him off the team because that contract is so fucking
Although
ass.
I thought you said a couple weeks ago that they're riding now. They're all in.
No, never. Haven't said that in 2 years. They are notoriously ninth or 10th and in the play-in, and it goes bad. That's what they're gonna be until they blow it up. They have a couple good guards that might be good. I think Kobe White is good. I think Giddey was actually a decent trade. I'm not against that. I think he has a chance to be pretty good.
I like Josh Giddey.
Lonzo Ball supposedly has a better jumper, maybe can play because he's fully healed, quote unquote, even though he has no cartilage. Those two guys up top, all Zach LaVine's going to do is get in the way of everybody else, and he's going to score a bunch of points that don't matter in garbage time. The only chance we have is that LeBron goes and gets his boy Zach LaVine because he loves him. So I'm hoping LeBron's like, we need a shooting guard. Bronny's not working out. No shit, Sherlock. Go get Zach LaVine, and the Lakers have to go do that. That's the only way that we have any hope.
Zach LaVine, to me, is simply just the worst version of James Harden you could have. Granted, he's far more athletic.
Not
but
as
it's
efficient,
just-
though, and a worse shooter.
Yeah, it's just why they ever gave him. They've always invested in the wrong players.
We knew it was a bad investment when they did it. We knew
I'll
that.
always die on the hill of Jimmy Butler should have been the piece you built it all around because
yeah.
that's proven to be real.
It was a
And
long
that's when
time
Mike
ago
was
now.
basketball Mike. It's almost
Yeah.
a decade ago now. And now you just watch videos of Jimmy Butler talking to you about his, Cali house that's $1 bajillion and that he has a wine collection and a house sommelier and like all this
Coffee.
cool shit. Yeah. So it's one of these things that the Bulls are going to be the Bulls. Jerry, just go sell both. Although Michael Reinsdorf will take over the Bulls because that's what his most interest is. That is their cash cow.
Lame.
And they will continue to make money off of it because the Bulls have always made money, where the White Sox have not. And yeah, they'll just milk it dry. And then one day some kid will come along to change it all. Who's the kid out of Duke everybody's losing their mind for?
Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg. Maybe it's tank for Cooper.
I think that it is, and I think that the NBA will be like, you want to know what would be cool? Let's make the Bulls good again. And they might give them the one.
Yeah, give them the one.
Like they did with D-Rose.
Yeah, and D-Rose was the perfect story. And a lot of people believe, which I think is interesting, Conspiracy Mike, Conspiracy Pod, that the teams with the lotteries, for example, the Blackhawks, who got Bedard, and then, the Bulls and all these Power 5 or, old school teams that built the league, so to speak.
Yeah.
Always the fan group that want to see them take off and be better. So I could see it too. There's no doubt about it. I think in the next 2 years, I think a Bulls number one is imminent. Although our luck at this stage of the game, that number one is going to be fucking Anthony Bennett. So it's going, So the Bulls, to your point, Vince, trajectory, play in, nobody cares. Now, did you see though, and I did catch this.
Diamond in the oh, sorry, go ahead.
Did you see that the Celtics pumps the Knicks?
Yeah. Game 1 of 82. Long time.
I know, just saying.
The real season doesn't start until after Christmas time, if you ask me. But opening night, you got to talk about it. Good news about the Bulls is we can't fucking watch them.
Whoa. Oh, I know why. Go ahead, bury that
lead. We can't watch them because there's no fucking media deal or, pardon me, provider deal with the new Chicago Sports Network. Chicago Sports Network doesn't work on fucking cable television. And they're running it on there. You can't watch the Blackhawks or the fucking Bulls. Well, what are we doing? And that's just, they're not even close to a deal. You have to get an HD antenna and hang it on your house like it's fucking 1984 to watch a fucking team play. That is crazy. That's crazy.
Welcome to 2024, Vince.
God fucking damn it, Jerry Reinsdorf. You're a piece of shit.
He's the worst guy ever. And so I've done some homework on this because I still actively listen to Chicago sports radio because I enjoy it. And how many people call in about how terrible this is astonishing. And not only that, but there is a full-blown hotline that you have to call in order to get your setup.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever in the office. So if you're trying to set this up and you
can't
support,
set it up. There's no way.
You get a voicemail.
Right. Because
And
no
it's
one
like,
needs to work because there isn't
sorry.
a way to do it.
Right. And go read the website. I encourage everybody. What do they call it? What is it? The Sisson?
Chicago
Or
Sports Network, yeah, CSNS or something like that.
So good old Sison here. Uh Horrible. Of course, a Jerry idea. And it's being very poorly run, just like everything else.
Wow.
He's stuck in 1995, and it's
Yeah, he
great.
wants his cronies. He wants to not have to pay anybody. He wants everything back to the way it used to be. I hate
What
him so
what I would like
much.
all of my fans to please go and do is buy an antenna. The bunny ears on top of the televisions. We haven't seen them in a very long time. Please go buy them. Watch my teams.
Fuck
Fuck
you,
this
Jerry.
guy.
I
And then the
will
Blackhawks.
happily.
I can't believe the Wirtz family bought it.
I know. I can't believe they bought into it. It's kind of stupid. The White Sox are going to be the same way, but who wants to watch that goddamn poverty franchise? Fuck him. I hate him. I hate him so much. And now you're forcing me to illegally stream your games, and I don't feel bad about it. It's not a bad bone in my body if I have to go fucking do that because you're the dickhead that didn't get it done. Fuck you.
You hear that?
Jerry Rizzo.
You hear that, Chicago teams? Vince is streaming your games illegally as if
Oh
he doesn't
yeah.
do it for the rest of
Come
the
and
sports.
get me, bitch. I don't. I don't.
No?
I use a paid for
Well,
network for
what's
majority of football games, majority of baseball games, but not for Bulls games and
so
Blackhawks games anymore.
so Comcast, known as Xfinity, or if you're in AZ, Cox, which is all the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope. Pause.
Hate 'em.
So Xfinity is your local cable provider if you are in Chicagoland, and a lot of people are cutting the cord and going, full blown
YouTubes.
the YouTube televisions. Now, what I thought was horrible, and since it's been broke out on a national case, now I can just bring it up. There were so many Chicagoans going, Garm, you gotta make sure you get one of them super boxes. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I've been burying this for a long time. But if you didn't know, there is this lovely device that you can get to legally stream everything.
Yeah.
And you can buy it on Amazon's. So that's what you got to do if you live in Chicago. Just do it.
Yeah,
Just
and
do
it's
it.
gonna get pulled now so fast. Everybody knows
I
about
know.
it. It's so fucked.
Everybody knows about it, and then one day I'll just go back to paying for it again. But
Yeah,
for now,
it was good while it lasts, Mike.
the ride is fun. I heard it, and I was in the car driving. I'm like, motherfucker.
You're like, shut the fuck up, Kevin from fucking Marist or whatever the fuck you live.
Yeah, shut up.
Bridgeview.
Shut up. Shut up, Kevin from Naperville. Nobody
Yeah.
needs to know about this.
A Carn. Yeah, fuck
Carn.
off.
No, it's great. All right, let's talk about baseball, Vince.
We got ourselves a World Series, Mike. Look at us go. Who would have thought?
I
Come
hate
on.
to say it.
Yay.
It's the one World Series you just don't like. Of course, I love playoff baseball, so I'll watch it. But it's
I'm
like,
in between.
I don't care.
I'm in
It's
between.
like you've all spent so much fucking money to
Yeah,
be
but
at this game, and there's no novelty to it.
are you saying
all.
fans being there?
No,
Yeah.
fans
Or the
pack the seats, of course, because
Yeah.
that's what Yankee fans and Dodgers fans do.
Yeah.
But
Talking about the
just saying
teams.
as a viewer, I really hate to say I give a shit because I don't like if I don't have a
Oh,
dog in this
I have
fight.
a different take. I have a
All
different
right,
take.
what's your take?
I don't like that it's these two teams. Pisses me off because any small market team, you're like, that's fucked. Last year we got a Rangers and a Diamondbacks World Series. And yeah, there were stars, but there were a couple stars. It's gonna be fucking cool watching Soto, Judge, Stanton in a row, flip it over, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. It starts. Oh yeah, Shohei Ohtani. Ever heard of him? It's gonna be fucking cool when you get into a game 7 and Shohei Ohtani's staring down the bat, waiting to go launch a home run off anybody on the Yankees. The storylines are very cool. It's gonna be very exciting. I hate that it's them too, but it's also classic. It's also, Jackie Robinson, Brooklyn Dodgers. It's fucking Yankees, Dodgers shit that we've seen in the 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm kind of excited about it. I kind of hate that it's them. I'm the most conflicted man right now.
I'm just happy for Michael Kopech and Carlos
He's
Rodon.
so good. Michael Kopech's so good, dude.
Yeah, you just leave the White Sox, automatically become better.
Yeah, that's like they say, you become a major leaguer when you leave the White Sox.
And when I look at this right now, I don't know who to root for. I like Rodon. I've always liked Rodon. Rodon was always like, man, if we could have kept that starting five together,
Yeah.
I think we were headed somewhere. But Sale couldn't stay healthy, then Rodon couldn't stay healthy, and then before you knew it, they were both out of town. So
I think I'm going Dodgers. I think Yankees fans piss me off so much that I want to see them lose at the pinnacle. Because they're like, the playoffs don't start till you make it to the fucking World Series. And you're like, dude, that was 15 years ago last time you got there. You don't have that oomph anymore. I want to see the
find
Dodgers
it
win it.
so difficult to root for a Dodgers team that's bought and sold from a guy that somehow has AIDS but's been alive for 50 years. I don't fucking
Oh,
get it.
Magic Johnson. What, the AIDS pisses you off?
No, it's like, how does
You're
he stay
mad at
alive?
AIDS?
And there's in the words of Kanye, it's like,
You
like-
could get through anything if Magic made it.
no, yeah, right. It's like you could get through anything if Magic made it, and it's
Yeah.
like and all the broke motherfuckers pass away. You tell me if my grandma in the NBA right now, she'd be
Mhm.
okay.
I
And
see what you're
it's-
saying.
It's that thought process that, hey, if you don't want to die or as beautiful as you'd
Yeah,
like
but-
it to be, it just takes money. And
There's, you can also track that to a lot of.
you
a
got to
lot of
say it's
owners.
fascinating that the guy has lived with a disease
Best
that
doctors.
kills people every day.
Best doctors. Best doctors.
Okay,
man.
either way,
Every
it's pretty
owner,
fascinating,
every owner has skeletons in a closet in every sport. Unfortunately,
especially in New York. Of course, I just
Oh,
said
right. Yeah.
lean Rodon.
Yeah.
I
Let's
lean
talk
Rodon.
New York Yankees ownership and say that they don't have any problem.
I hate to say it. After I left New York and went to a game,
Yeah.
of course I don't like the Yankees.
Stop spreading the news.
But I mean, it's infectious. Again, if you live there, why would you be? It's the comparison though.
Yeah,
of,
Yankee
like,
Mike, New York Mike.
It's the comparison though. If you're a White Sox fan or a Cub fan,
Yeah.
it's easy being a Cub fan, just like it's easy being a Yankee fan.
Yeah. It's easy
Now
being
it's
a
hard
Dodgers
to
fan.
do. Now it's hard to do being
Yeah.
a White Sox fan. Historically, what it's been hard to do being a Mets fan.
Hey,
even though
it's
they've
hard
been
being
pretty
an
good.
Angels fan. It's not easy
Really
being
hard.
an Angels fan.
It's not easy to be a fan in general, but this is
Yeah.
why we do it, and this is why you
Yeah.
listen to the pod. So Vince has got the fucking Dodgers. I got
guess.
the fucking Yankees.
I guess.
There we
Again,
go.
not jacked up about it.
What's
by
your
any
take?
means.
What's your take? Because I have a take here that I believe why the Yankees win. So what's your take other than Shohei Ohtani?
It's looking at the Yankees. Gleyber Torres has had a very good playoff so far. Juan Soto, first off, Juan Soto's at bat in overtime. Juan Soto's at bat in extra innings the other day, where he went 1-2 and he fouled off what seemingly was 15,000 pitches and then sends a Yabo dead center. Was one of the most exciting things I've ever fucking seen. Juan Soto's the best hitter in baseball, bar none. Not the best baseball player, best hitter, bar none. Who do they play? That's my problem. Getting to this World Series wasn't necessarily the hardest thing in the world. I mean, two of those teams are from the AL Central that have been shitting on the White Sox all year. That helps
okay.
them a little bit.
That if the teams in the other divisions were that good, they would have played in that game as well. And they
Kind of, but maybe the Guardians don't win the fucking division if they're in a different division. That's where my head is. I'm not saying I'm not like fighting against the Yankees here. I'm just saying comparing the past here, like it was harder to win the NL when it was to win the AL this year.
Yes and no. I mean, that argument could go on for hours, but I
Right.
digress. I believe that the starting five for the Yankees is better than the starting five for the Dodgers. Now, one could argue about the Dodgers bullpen being better than the Yankees.
Yeah, that's
I
what
think the
scares me.
abundance-
Late game Dodgers.
Kopech's playing his ass off. You know,
Yeah.
he's clearly started to figure it out being in LA, playing for a contender. I do think, though, it could go 6 or 7, and I think you got a Yankees World Series as they usually do. What I think is cool What I think is cool, man, though, is like Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid's living the dream.
Oh yeah. Hell fucking
You know why the
Yankees.
Dodgers won't win, Vince? They
Why?
don't got a grease ball on their team.
They're not Italians.
Argument
Well,
over. How you
well.
doing?
I will say too, fully healthy, the Dodgers get Tyler Glasnow and Shohei Ohtani pitching. That's what's crazy. I mean, if they had Shohei Ohtani up behind the mound, which I guess he could do, maybe in a fucking very important situation, they can do that. Shohei Ohtani should be throwing the ball right now too. So, I don't know. You could be right. The Yankees are healthier. Somehow Rodon isn't injured. It's first time ever. So, we'll see how this goes.
Leaving the White Sox. Vince, you know, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
For some ad reads, but you're hearing one today.
The NFL and Aired Out portion of today's show is brought to you by Alpha Progression. Alpha Progression is the go-to app for anyone training to maximize muscle gain. They are focused 100% on that. It's science-based and developed by serious lifters with personal training and competitive bodybuilding backgrounds. Those of you who listen weekly know that I've been on my journey to lean out and develop muscle. And I can tell you that this app is a game changer. The interface is great and easy to use, even though it's packed with features, making it an ideal tool for both novices like me and seasoned lifters. Alpha Progression's plan generator will generate a plan for you from scratch according to your needs, like what your muscles want to focus on and what equipment you have. There are over 1,000 trillion input combinations. Their plans measure up the best personal trainers in the world. Strength training is about progression. Their algorithm analyzes past performances and gives recommendations for weight and reps in every set, guaranteeing long-term success. Our listeners get 20% off their first payment by scanning the code here or going to alphaprogression.com/taxi squad on your web browser. That's alphaprogression.com/taxi squad. Alpha Progression, the best muscle building app to plan and track your workouts.
Do it now. We got some NFL takes to hear out here and potentially
Not
air
only
out
NFL,
because-
all sports, Mike. We're airing it out.
that is right.
We're
that
airing
is right.
it out.
All right. So once again, new to the podcast, here we go. Air it out.
Baseball is bad for the economy. I have been dialed into playoff baseball, and at one point there were 4 games in a day, and I just sat in front of my TV watching for each game was about 2 hours, 4 games, about 8 hours worth of baseball. I did nothing productive for my community. I did nothing productive for work. I earned no money. I made nothing. I just sat and enjoyed wonderful, wonderful playoff baseball. And it's not just one day, where it's football, we don't do anything on Sundays. It's every day. There's so many games every single day where I can just zone out and watch and not do anything productive that it is actively hurting our chances of beating the Chinese and the Russians in GDP growth. And as a capitalist, we should abolish baseball, and we should all be working in the factories at more.
Your thoughts?
Fucking first, what sort of fucking communist utopia are we trying to say here? Or you just work in the factories without baseball? We need baseball as a country.
Mike,
baseball is what
4
America.
games a day, 2+ hours a game.
Vince, it is the sport that this fucking country is the fabric. I mean, it is the fabric of the USA. The game of baseball is. And I know football has kind of taken the crown, and I get it. We all
Bad
love
for the
football.
GDP, though.
It's not bad for the GDP. This isn't a fucking political podcast. You know what else is bad for the fucking GDP? Psychotic fucking billionaires that run our country. You want to go there? You want to go down that fucking rabbit hole?
You're
go look at
goddamn right.
BlackRock. Go look at all of them because they're all fucking bought and paid for. You look at Biden, Trump, Kamala, all of them, all bought and fucking paid.
Bought, paid. I'm with you, 100%.
You know what we need to do, Vince? We need to become a podcast that somehow can sit on the Senate, because if you look at the annual increases of senators in our great country who never give up their seats, they make millions of dollars, and they started making maybe 150 to 200,000. So how are they making so much money? Insider trading.
Yeah. More baseball, less insider trading. Fair?
Yes. And
All
as
right.
far as China and Russia, we also have to look at what they're doing with the BRICS and the fact that that may become the trade currency of the world, which would inevitably tank our dollar.
Okay.
I still pay attention to all this shit, people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know any of this.
Oh, yeah. Do your homework.
This is news to me. We have another one, but before we do, if you guys want to call in and leave your
Do it.
opinion on Air It Out, 312-725-2107. Write it down, save it in your contacts, and then when you're
Yes.
feeling sad and lonely and you have a take, give it to us. So here's the number again before I play this. 312-725-2107. All right, second one. Here we go.
Hey, so I just wanted to call in and tell you guys that I'm really gunning for the Jags this year. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl, place money on a Super Bowl pick. They're going to knock it out of the park. They won a couple games recently.
One game.
Go Jags.
No, they're not.
Okay, so we get some listeners to this show. Who was that, Vince?
That was our friend Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, so we got Ryan.
No, they're
Mr.
not, Ryan.
Listen, you prick. You got to understand when you call on this show, you better fucking come correct, right? And the Jags are fucking horrible.
I love
So
that
much
man,
so-
but
Vince may contract malaria twice, okay? If the Jags win the Super Bowl, Vince is going to contract malaria twice.
the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Indianapolis Colts 3 weeks ago
Yep.
by 3. At that point, they haven't had a win. They're now 2-5, if I'm not mistaken, after they beat the Patriots, who might literally have a mutiny on their hands and are the worst team in the NFL, possibly. There is an impossible, like, if you're going to make a bet on an AFC team that's 2-5 to go to the Super Bowl, you'd probably be more safe going with the Jets, and I don't think that's fucking happening. Something in his favor, though, comparing Trevor Lawrence to Pat Mahomes this year, Trevor Lawrence is technically having a better year. Problem with that is the Chiefs in a whole are so much better than the Jaguars as a whole, and the Jaguars defense isn't very good, and the Jaguars have maybe 1 to 2 receivers that are very good. ETN's not having a great year. It's Tank Bigsby time. I like your confidence in this pick, Ryan. I have to say that that's a horrible fucking pick, unfortunately, in my opinion. They're pretty fucking bad, in my opinion.
Watch a little bit more football, you prick. That's all I got to say.
And that's
That's
aired
all I
out.
got to say.
If you want to get roasted like that again, or if you want to get a political mic conversation going again, go ahead and call into that number, talk to us, and we'll include you on the show. Thank you for those submissions. Much appreciated. NFL?
NFL, thank you for the aired out submissions. So much fun.
It's so fun. I love it. I thought that we could talk about the Bears in the beginning since they didn't play, but we have some storylines to talk about.
The Bears. What do we got? Vince?
Did we win the bye week, Mike? Or did we lose it?
I'd say, looking at the course of events of going into Washington this week, we won the bye week.
Part of me feels that way. Part of me doesn't. The Lions win, in my opinion, and we can have a disagreement here, but the Lions are the better team in the division.
Then who?
Then Minnesota, then Green Bay, then everybody. The Lions offense may be the best offense in the entire NFL right now. Their defense is turnover machines. Like, maybe they can't stop the run. Great. They lose Aiden Hutchinson. That offense is crazy. Jared Goff's putting up real MVP numbers. They have a double tandem in the backfield, and they have maybe 3 receivers that are dogs now. Like, they're pretty fucking good overall. Yeah, the Vikings are good. I would pick the Lions over them. The Packers win that week too, meaning that the Bears are behind a game technically. Yes, we're 4th. Yes, I don't think the Bears are going to win the fucking Super Bowl this year by any means. But also, we might not get Jaden Daniels this week.
So
which
we're
I'm not
talking
rooting
about
for,
2
but-
games. We're talking about a Lions versus Vikings game that was decided by a field goal.
Yep.
And then we're also talking about a Packers-Texans game, which was also decided by a field goal.
100%. That was
So
flip a coin.
two teams in the division play tough teams that now, of course, look like they are the favorites. The Vikings, I still think they play the Lions again. And I think they're going to be coming for blood because they looked good. They both look good. It was a score fest. If you took the over in this, you loved it. Now, the Texans, they just left too much time on the clock for Matt LaFleur, and he put together a great little script there, and they drove down the field.
The defensive backs on the Green Bay Packers are really fucking good.
Yeah, well,
they're really fucking good.
And then they got McKinney now.
Dude, they're really fucking good, and I'm afraid of that team entirely.
And they got better. Do you want to know how they got better?
How?
The Packers just recently brought on Robert Saleh as an assistant to Matt LaFleur, which, if we know the story of Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur, they both coached together in good old Washington.
Yeah.
And those two guys are buddies, and they are pretty fucking brilliant. So I think Robert Saleh got the shit end of a stick. We've discussed that. I do think Aaron Rodgers is proven to be like, hey, you got nobody else to blame this on now. And we'll talk about that here shortly. But that, to me, scary for the whole fucking division, because now you have a third-party analyst doing homework all week just on, okay, here's what this team does. Here's how we scheme. It's going to be a problem in the NFC North. I do truly believe that. And any team defensively who's going to play them next.
All you can hope is that Jordan Love throws 12 picks to the Bears, and that's what I'm going to root for as we go forward here. Because
we need one fucking win against that team.
Yep. We need a couple wins.
I'll take one. I'll take the split this year. If we could just sneak out one, preferably in Green Bay,
home.
just to really...
Yeah, but then we lose at home.
Yeah, it's the most Bears shit ever.
Yeah. Listen, we didn't expect to go into this year being Super Bowl contenders. We're a good team right now. Win a couple in the next couple weeks. Split with 2 of the 3 teams in the division. Get to 10 wins. We're fine.
I can't believe this is one of the best divisions in football. And right now, I mean, Vince, you're hearing some whispers on the bayou.
There's whispers on the street, on the avenue, if you will.
Okay. What are we
about
hearing?
Trades, about possible trades. We want the Bears to get an offensive lineman. There are no offensive linemen on the trade rumor sheet. You're not going to get one right now. It's fine. Who is on the trade rumor sheet, according to Apple News and some other random place that I read it? Trayvon Walker, name ring a bell?
Yeah, he was a first-round draft pick out of Georgia a few years ago, right?
Aiden Hutchinson, if I'm not mistaken. That was year 1 of the taxi squad with Vince.
That was
first draft we had. We were going through who's going to be first, second, third pick. You picked Trayvon Walker, and you were right. He has not been very good for the Jags. Supposedly they're asking for somewhere around a 4th-round pick to put on the other side of the edge rushing committee with Montez Sweat, which I would be for, because we could fill that position. Or Khalil Herbert on the trade block because he's not playing with the team very much right now. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys.
It would be tremendous if we could pull that off. Now, I don't know if you have to sell it to the Cowboys, and here's the sale.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? If I'm calling Dallas Cowboys here, Vince, you be the Dallas Cowboys. Ready?
How you doing? I'm Jerry Jones, and I might be a racist.
Hey, Jerry. Here's the deal. You don't have a running back. Your defense has performed quite horribly over the past 6 games. So is your offense. Now, I do believe what could turn that around for you is a young talent that has fresh legs. Not only that, but maybe some draft capital, considering you guys have more holes than anything, and you are running out of cap space pretty quickly. And we, the Bears, have the cap space to go pay a top-tier talent like a Micah Parsons. What are the odds to get that done?
You know what, buddy? I like you, Mr. Ryan Poles. I think you're very good. I think you're a very nice guy. I don't think I'm racist against you, to be honest, which is fine. I do think that we can get that done. But also, it's because I'm rooting for your team and not mine. No, I think it's a hard sell. I think
Vince's
it's
country accent is one of my new favorite things of all time. He sounds like such a little Southern boy.
I think I gotta tell y'all something real quick. You
Vince
gotta
will
be
be a
soft
country
with it.
star before you know it.
I think it's a hard sell. I think we're gonna have to give up a lot for that. Micah Parsons is very good. I don't think they're gonna be able to pay him because they have too much on their books. But it's possible. Whispers on the avenue. There's a lot of trade talk coming up. Matt Stafford might be a Viking. Cooper Kupp on the trade talk right now. Something else may have happened today.
DeAndre Hopkins got traded today. Finally, good for him.
To a team that presumably needs him that hasn't won Super Bowls in the last couple of years, right?
Now he got traded to the fucking Chiefs.
Oh, he's on the Chiefs.
Put him in the Super Bowl already.
Are you telling me that they got a big red zone threat for the Kansas City Chiefs? Oh, what an idea.
This believes they think that their wide receiver room isn't there, and most like Rashid Rice is done.
Rashid Rice could come back for the Super Bowl, I think they said, which means he's not playing. Xavier Worthy, put him in the he can't be a number one guy. Put him in a slot situation. Mecole Hardman's running go routes on the left side of the offense, and then Nuke's just getting thrown the ball 15 times a game. It's stupid. They're so like they're gonna be so good. They don't need to try until week like 14. We're fine. Chiefs are good again. And they're undefeated.
Chiefs are really good. Chiefs are one of the best teams in all of football.
Yeah. Or maybe the best.
It's one of these situations they refuse to lose, and now it's like the rich get richer. And I think this is going to open up even more work for Xavier Worthy because now you got to worry about two guys. Because Kelsey is just big old decoy this year. Big old decoy.
Once everybody else starts getting the ball, they're like, they're not really throwing to Kelsey. He's going to start turning it on week 12. And then you're like, all right, well, fuck. Now he's really good again, too. Like, that's the thing. It's the Patriots of old. It's the Chiefs of new. That's just how this shit's going to go.
That's how it works. Every cycle has its teams. And with that, we will talk about the teams we picked this week. So if you're, once again, new to this show, you will know that Vince and I pick the teams every week that we believe will win. And that, too. We pick the teams that we believe will win in the NFL on a week-to-week basis. Last week, Mike went on a historic run of being 13-1.
Yep.
And Vince is what? You were down 4 games. Now how are we doing?
I was down 4 after last week, and God damn it, Mike, if I didn't get one over you this week. I won 10 out of 5. You got 9 and 6. Excuse me, 10-5 to 9-6.
All right.
I got 1 game on you. You're still up 3. And it might start with this first Thursday night football game because the New Orleans Saints are cooked.
I don't know if that game was just such a snooze fest. If you're going to watch no game.
Remember week 1? New Orleans Saints best offense in the goddamn league.
Well, that's when they had their quarterback.
I know, but now the Saints are 2-5.
Yeah, because everybody overreacts, and the Saints looked really good when they had Derek Carr.
Where's Alvin Kamara? Why wasn't he playing in this game?
Something must have happened. Maybe he punched another guy in the face, even though they just gave him a 2-year extension. I don't know if anybody else saw that today.
There's no excuse to lose by 23 to the Denver Broncos if you're any team in the fucking league right now. Bo Nix threw the ball less, thank God. Not very fucking good. They smoked him. They just smoked him, dude.
I know, but like the first half was just like snooze, okay.
Yeah, the second half was also snooze. Like the whole game sucked. This game sucked.
Spencer Rattler showed you he's not very good at the football.
Told you. Goddamn told you.
Well, it could be a slight overreaction, but hey, the Broncos are 4-3, so they have a winning record. So there you go. So Bo Nix is a winning quarterback.
Can we move on? I hate these teams.
Yep. Let's keep it going.
Drake May season, baby.
Yeah, that was short-lived. Young Drake does not look. Not a bad game for a personal struggle, but I mean, the kid needs a lot of time to grow, and I feel like that will happen, but not this year.
Not on this team, man. Ramondre Stevenson, bad. The rushing defense. Did you hear what Bill Belichick said?
What did Bill say?
On the Manning cast, so it's called. Bill Belichick's like, a lot of guys on this team were on the team last year because Gerard Mayo said they're a soft team. And he said it hurt his feelings that he said that because a lot of those guys were on the team last year and they had the number one rushing defense in the league. So he's like, Gerard Mayo's fucking it up. It's not the guys, it's Gerard fucking Mayo.
Remember, Bill Belichick is dating a 25-year-old. So
yeah.
there's that
Yeah.
much.
Wasn't he at like some carnival or some shit? I saw like some video.
It wouldn't
of him.
surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Gerard Mayo's got to call out his team. I don't mind that thought process. If they're playing like Papu, then you got to talk to them like, hey, you got to get your act together.
4 fingers standing back when you're doing that, though. He's got something he needs to cook about too. Patriots 1-6, maybe the worst team in the league, and god damn it, I love that. I adore that. It makes me so happy.
I don't personally adore it. Or
Yeah, you
love
loved
anything
the
about it.
Patriots. You were like, oh, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, Ryan Day, Eiffel Tower. What do you say?
No, just full
Okay.
blown. Tom's my guy. Love Tommy.
Okay, yeah,
Greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
you're right.
And I
Handsome.
don't think that there's anything to that. Ryan Day, no, nowhere
4 now.
close.
Okay.
Nowhere close.
4 now, though. Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
Vikings Lions.
We were the just a little hair away of being on the opposite sides of this one. It was a wonderful game. Sam Darnold still looks great. I don't care what anybody says.
No Matthew Stafford in Minnesota?
That would be a real kick in the nuts for Sammy D.
Yeah, it's stupid.
He's
Don't do
finally
that.
got some momentum. He's 5-1. I don't think you take Kevin O'Connell and pair him with Stafford and it fixes all your problems. I still think they're a playoff contender with Sam Darnold at quarterback. I might be a smidge biased there, but I mean, he's still making good throws, doing what he needs to do. It's just when you are negative in the turnover column, you're probably going to lose games, and
Yep.
that's what the Lions do. They don't turn the ball over. Jared Goff's really
good. He's
He's
really
good.
good at football. He's
He
been
can't
really
know who he
good
can't
this year.
play. No, he can't play, Vince.
Who?
The Bears.
That's true.
Which I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that series. That's going to be a great stretch of we get them on Thanksgiving, and it is the most Midwest shit ever, and I'm all for it.
100%. Couple things. Brian Flores' defense against the rushing attack of the Lions. The Lions have a crazy offensive line. Their offensive line is so good. Jahmyr Gibbs runs around. Jared Goff, 22 for 25. I said this already, but this Lions offense is the best offense in the NFL, maybe except for the Ravens. Depends on who you want to throw it up. In my opinion, that's how I feel. You can get pieces from everywhere, and then one of the bad things is that the Lions have Jameson Williams, and now they don't have Jameson Williams because he's suspended for only 2 games for performance-enhancing substances. I don't know exactly what it is.
What, like Adderall?
I think it's that, or maybe like he took creatine on accident or some shit. Like, I don't know what he did.
Well, they test for way too much. I mean, if you just took creatine, because I mean, creatine is one of the most natural base substances you can take for muscle growth and strength. I mean, it's not a terrible thought process, and a lot of guys are already taking it on a week-to-week basis. But Adderall, from what I've read in the NFL, is a real thing, and these guys take it in order to stay focused.
Yeah. But he's out for 2 games. That's why I can't think it's that egregious, because 2 games for a PES suspension is real short. That's real short for a guy. So I think this team's so good. I think they're missing Aiden Hutchinson. I think they need to make a trade for somebody on the defensive line. But outside of that, like, unless they get in their own ways, I can see them marching all the way to the SB this year, in my opinion.
Really?
Swear to God. They
Hot
almost
take
did
from
last year.
Vince.
They almost did last year.
Yeah, and we'll get into that game.
What
'cause
was
that's
that?
coming up
One
here soon.
score? Was it 1 score to the 49ers going to the Super Bowl? Like, it was that close.
Yeah, but the 49ers were the team last year that couldn't lose in tough games, which that is not the case this year.
That's
and we'll talk about it.
changed.
But now the Bills, man, Mari Cooper, he's
Yeah.
home. Welcome.
Yes. Keon Coleman, Amari Cooper, Josh Allen's really good at quarterback. Who would have fucking thunk? The Tennessee Titans are so bad. They're fucking so bad.
They're not good.
And they got worse today, getting rid of Nuke. They no longer have the man by the name of
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why the fuck I couldn't think of that. That was very weird.
Space.
I've just been calling him Nuke forever.
All right.
Mason Rudolph sucks.
How long is it before good old Duddy King?
He's already
see,
gone.
now
He's done. Mason Rudolph started.
Okay, so they've given up
Over.
on the Will Levis experiment.
Over.
Isn't it terrible to think like he'll only be known for a video
For
of him
having a
getting
forearm of a peen? Yeah, that's such a bad way to be known, Mike. Oh, doesn't
Hey.
it suck that he's just known for having a massive sausage?
Just saying, when you get drafted in the NFL, could be worse
Yeah.
things.
Nick Foles
Now-
was loving it. They're bad, dude. They're so bad.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not good. And then not only that, well, you look across town, you look at Indiana. I mean, it doesn't look like Anthony Richardson's it. He does not look good.
But how many games did he play in the NFL? Let's be for real.
It needs to
Yeah,
stop.
it's
These
season-
uses need to stop. He's missing throws all over the field.
I know.
'cause
It's
he's
season
not a
2.
quarterback.
Yeah, but he missed almost the entirety of last year.
He is Justin Fields.
I don't
2.0.
think he's good. I will say that.
He is
I don't-
Justin Fields 2.0.
This Colts team is good, man.
Yeah. You want to know with who at quarterback?
Flacco.
Flacco. Something about Flacco I love. I think Flacco starts next week. Granted, they won the game, but they're just running the football down your throat. The
Yeah.
defense is pretty good. So
Well, we'll see, man. It depends on if that team wants to really stick with AR, because that was an investment, man. That was the 3rd overall pick. You want to know who else was an investment in a high overall pick?
who's that, Vince?
Tua Tagovailoa. Tua.
Did he start?
No, but he's back.
And they asked him if he was. Didn't they ask him if he was going to wear a
Yeah.
guardian cap? He
You
said,
wearing a guarding
no.
cap? He said nope. And they're like, "Why is that?" He's like, "Personal choice." I'm like, I fucking love that. That's big.
This man might be dead by the time he's 40, but
I
boy,
know.
will he play the game of football.
He loves football. I'm excited to see that. Possibly MVP. His team's really good with them. They're the best, one of the best offenses in the league with them, and they
They're
can't
gonna-
do shit without him.
They
Most
might get a
valuable?
wild card spot. Eh.
MIP, most important player. That's the thing. Tyreek Hill has been non-existent. Tua's
You're not
playing.
going to. I mean, I think the Jets have a quicker comeback before the Dolphins do.
Why do you say that?
Because now Rodgers has exactly what he wants, and there's no more excuses. So now you got to go out and perform.
Yeah, but that was a bad game that they played. And the Dolphins really, they get Tua back and they can go back on schedule. This is a whole different game. Tyler Huntley's not good. Tua's good.
Well, yeah, you're bridge gapping what you're doing right now,
Yeah.
and you're hoping that your franchise quarterback that you built an entire offense around
Is it
decides
brain
to come
dead?
back.
Yeah.
Now, will he be the same? How many more hits
Well,
it takes will show.
They said the next day that his head was all right. They said the next day he had no concussion symptoms. They just had to keep him out. So I don't know if that's just fucking lip service or whatever. It is what it is. Seahawks Falcons.
Who
don't know how to
called
feel.
this, by the way? Who called this?
You wouldn't be saying that unless it was you, Mike.
I said this. I said this
Yeah.
is the Kirk Cousins off a big win shit to bet game, which usually
Yeah,
always
man.
happen.
Don't know how to
So
feel
what you
about
do?
either of these teams.
What you do next week? You pick the Falcons.
Yeah,
That's what you
for
do
sure.
next week.
Well, it depends on who they're playing, I guess, right? That's the
Geno
whole big
Smith
deal.
looked great. 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf finally getting involved. You know who led the team in
Oh.
receiving yards?
You're gonna have a hard time picking the Falcons next week, I'll tell you.
Why is that? Because they're not playing?
No, they are, but they're playing a team you like a lot.
Who's that?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, buddy.
Well, that
They don't have any
even more
receivers.
so. Even more so. Even more so.
Yeah.
But
How-
with that, I do believe though that Kirk is Kirk, and there you go.
How do you feel about the Seahawks?
They're a young head coach of a team, and they're figuring it out.
They're kind of good, but they're kind of not. Like
Got
both
a
sides
young
of the
head
balls,
coach is figuring it out.
I feel like both sides of the ball is like 14th in the league, just above the middle,
Could be worse things in the world.
100%.
Middle of
and
the pack.
Yeah, and Geno Smith is still pretty good. Who would have thought in the year of 2024 we'd be talking about Geno Smith being a 3-year starter for the Seattle Seahawks? Not I.
And how many people would think that Kirk Cousins is this, right?
You're
Just
right.
saying.
You're goddamn right about that. Now, Texans Packers, we kind of talked about this already. I don't want to fucking beat a dead horse, but
Maybe the best game of the weekend. That's all I'll say about that. That game was really tough.
CJ. What the fuck are we doing, CJ? That's all I have to say about this.
They gave him too much time, man.
They ran the ball. 10 for 21, 86 yards, CJ Stroud. That's not a Pro Bowl. That's not a Super Bowl quarterback thing. I know it's the middle of the season. You have a letdown game every now and then. Can't do that.
They lost the game by a 2-point margin. They dropped on the field, scored. They just left too much time for the Packers to get in field goal range.
Yep.
And it was a home game. And I will say this, I really dislike this team greatly. Those jerseys were pretty cool.
Oh, I hated them.
The all whites were neat. They were neat.
Mike. I hated them. I think that if the Bears did that, I would be sick. Sick to my stomach.
All whites?
Yeah. Ugh. Classic,
I think it'd be cool,
baby. It's classic. I think if they do all whites with the blue dome, I'm in. If the Packers did all whites with like a green helmet, I'm in. You can't change a classic jersey like that. I think it looks
the white
bad.
helmets were neat. I thought the white
I'm
helmets
out.
were neat.
Atrocious.
I thought it was kind of cool.
That's like the New York Yankees wearing like a fucking alternate jersey. You don't do it. You just don't do it.
Okay, let's move on here. Bengals, Browns. Whoa.
Deshaun Watson,
Vince?
Achilles. That was me doing what Cleveland did against him.
You, as a Cleveland fan, when Vince texted me this, he's like, "Oh, popped an Achilles." Deshaun Watson.
I literally think I think Deshaun Watson just died. That's literally what I said.
I'm like, okay. I think if you're in Cleveland, it's Jameis time, and now what do you do?
And then I was like, hell yeah, Jameis. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson comes in.
Why no Jameis, Vince? You should know.
He was the emergency backup for no reason. I think they were getting sick of people saying put in Jameis Winston, even though that was the clear fucking decision to make. DTR then gets injured, and then Jameis comes in. I love him. I love Jameis so much. 5 for 11, 67 yards. Guess what he did that no other quarterback did in that game?
Threw a touchdown?
Boom, baby, because Jameis gets tutties. Jameis Winston's the fucking man. He better be starting next week. Do you think Kevin Stefanski's relieved a little bit?
Probably, because now it's back to the drawing board, but you still got to get the money
management was
off your
forcing
books.
that. You know that. Management was forcing the start.
Now maybe management gets fired and he stays because he's still a great head coach.
Well, you
and
can't
now
fire
you got to
Dorsey.
think, man, I should have kept Flacco. Maybe they try and trade for Flacco. That would be a surprise.
It's Winston time. Speaking of getting back on your horse, the Bengals won one.
Well, and Vince, you may have to contract malaria.
They're 3-4 in week 7. This isn't a Super Bowl team.
How about those NFC East teams, right? I mean, come on. We got the Eagles coming into town, just laying a hurting on the Giants. Boy, oh boy.
Saquon Barkley's really good. I don't know if you knew this. You know Saquon Barkley? You ever heard of that guy?
Yeah, that could have been like a hammer plus 2 touchdown bet.
Saquon Barkley comes into the Meadowlands and he rushes for 167 and 1 touchdown.
Impression Vince this episode? I love this. I can get used to this.
He's a man. He's the fucking man. I love him. He's so cool when he's going off. It's so good.
Yeah, he's very good, especially if you have him in fantasy. We both picked that one correctly. Now,
100% easy.
when we move to the Raiders and Rams, this game just snoozy. Okay,
the Raiders are so bad.
they're not good. They're not good. Yeah. And then we move to the Commies, which
wait,
was
but
a
really
happy
quick,
little...
Raiders are 2-5. Guess who else is 2-5? New York Jets. Devontae went from 2-5 and 2-5, and he lost to the Buccaneers, or not the Buccaneers. Excuse me. The Steelers twice in 6 days. All right. Anyway, go on.
So when we look at that, now we're going to move to close by, which is good old Washington. And the
Mhm.
commies just, hey, it doesn't matter if they got Mariota or Jaden. You got
I think it
Hanson
does.
Cliff running an offense.
I think it matters if you're playing the fucking Panthers. The Panthers are so bad. I think that most Commanders fans come out of this as a loss overall because it may be Mariota season this weekend, which I'm not really rooting for and not looking forward to. I wanted to see the two guys duel it out. I did not want to see Mariota come in. I know what you're going to say. You got to take what you got, but I want to see them at full brass. I want to see them play against each other. You want to see the goodness, you know?
So what happens to Jaden Daniels that he goes out mid-game, and why are they axing him this week? Is it a rib injury I read? Just
Did you see the play? He ran on like the first play of the game. He went for like 50 yards. He fell on it real weird. He came back in for a couple plays and then they took him out. So I think it was like, I mean, if it's a rib injury, like have you ever had one? Like a fucked up rib?
Oh, I've bruised rib cartilage before
Yeah.
in my
And
playing days, and
you
that is not
can't
fun. That
breathe.
hurt.
You can't
Yeah,
sleep.
breathe.
You can't eat. You can't cough. When you cough, it's like someone's stabbing you. Like that's probably what's going on right now. But I'm just saying, Toradol, baby. Film with Toradol.
Toradol, flak jacket, get his ass out there. We need a matchup.
He wears one anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And then Vince, game of the weekend. Mike also
Yeah,
picked the
was it?
Chiefs.
Yeah,
It was slow. It was slow.
I decided this last week that I was going to take both undefeated teams and go against them because it was a week that the undefeated teams lose. One of them counted, one of them didn't. It's all right. Trouble in Santa Barbara or wherever the fuck they play.
In San Francisco.
I don't know. I don't know
I-
if they do though. I think isn't it in like some weird place, the 49ers stadium,
It's near and dear. No, Levi Field is close. to
Santa
San
Clara. Thank you, everybody.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy needs to be better, especially if they're going to pay him a bag.
And especially if their most healthy wide receiver was shot 4 months ago.
Well, now Brandon Ayuk tears his ACL, and I'm sure
Right.
they're just immediate buyer's remorse. Just like, fuck.
Mhm.
But hey, Ricky Pearsall season, baby.
Hey man, I picked him up in fantasy week 3, and I was just waiting on my IR until he came in, so maybe it's gonna work out. Kareem Hunt game.
Kareem Hunt's
Chiefs-
back, babe.
The Chiefs get a running back and they bring him back to greatness. Chiefs get a wide receiver, they bring him back to greatness. Nuke is back, gonna bring him to greatness. The Chiefs are fucking good. They're never gonna lose again. Just get used to it. Priest Holmes is the man. All right.
Priest Holmes forever. Okay, so we move on to the Jets and the Steelers.
Oh boy.
Dangerous?
Oh, boy.
Dangerous?
Dude.
Is he
Be
dangerous?
careful, might be a little spicy. Russell Wilson
Careful.
looked really fucking good, Mike. He did everything he needed to win that game, and he outplayed Aaron Rodgers to a T.
That team looks to be. We want to talk about teams that look cooked. The Jets.
Yeah.
They're like not celebrating touchdowns on their
Yeah,
sideline.
Devontae was mad, right?
He called the team out live on the air. Said, "Guys, breaks off an amazing 60-yard play to score a touchdown, Brees Hall," and none of us are cheering. He's
Yeah.
like, "This is not okay."
Got to
And
do
I've
that.
been here for a cup of coffee.
To echo that, Aaron Rodgers went on McAfee on Tuesday, like he usually does, and he wore a "Embrace the Little Things" hat, and he said, "We're not celebrating the little wins, and we got to have more fun playing football." And that's a defeated fucking team, if I've ever heard of one. Defense looks atrocious. Offense can't. I mean, Aaron Rodgers' accuracy was all right, but 2 times, one off of Garrett Wilson, you can't blame him on it. The other one, you can't throw that ball in, Rodgers. I don't think they're good, man. And they shouldn't have gotten rid of Salah. It's obviously not his fucking issue. I don't know, man.
I still think Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback in the NFL. I do think
I don't think he's
losing
great
a step
anymore,
up.
though.
No, great has left the window.
Great
But
is
the
gone,
real
good
question
good.
is, Justin Fields is a career backup from now on.
Russell Wilson, that was the right call.
Yeah, they've made the right decision, and not only
Yeah.
that, the Bears get a 4th-round pick because he started 5 games. So I'd like to point that out to all you Bear fans out there. Now we get a 4th-round pick.
And
as
also, we
opposed to
could use a backup. Send him back. All right.
No, I mean, hey, I like. I don't even know who we're keeping right now, but there you go.
Welcome to the Black Parade in Tampa Bay,
Man,
because we saw
the
two people-
Ravens are the
so
Ravens
good.
potentially the best team in the NFL right now.
I love them, dude. I love them. Derrick Henry adding to that offense, insane. I like everything about them. Their defense is amazing. Their offense is amazing. Justin
Don't
Tucker
be-
is still Justin Tucker.
Go look at the numbers. They are smoking people on almost every category across the league. So if you want to be the ESPN take and be like, just go off standings, off your power rankings,
It's stupid.
Yeah, take your time. But I would say the Ravens may be the best team in the NFL, and they played a really good Bucs team. That game was a lot less close than it looked.
It was. I took the over on this. I took a Ravens spread. And we'll get into it now, I guess. Chris Godwin fucked himself up. They were down 10 at
So
that
sad.
time. The Ravens figure out how to field an onside kick. I would say that's number one. That's no team has gotten an onside kick done against them except for the Ravens 2 times this year. And also Mike Evans goes out. It's kind of the black parade for Tampa Bay. But to your point, the Baltimore Ravens can do all they're going to do all year, and Lamar can have another amazing MVP season. And the only thing that's going to matter is if they can beat fucking Kansas City in the playoffs. And that's just all that's going to matter, unfortunately.
Well, still don't count out Buffalo because Buffalo's still really good.
Right, but if they lose to Buffalo, that's even worse, you know?
These are very true things. I do think the Ravens, though, are the best team in the AFC. And I think he's fast. He's big. And they pulled him in like the fourth quarter because they were like, okay, we're saving him.
Yeah, let's put in one of these, any of
Right
the guys that
now-
we have sitting. Yeah.
Right now, he's on pace to break Eric Dickerson's record of a single rushing yard record in the league. Like, he's on pace to do it at this stage of the game. He's already got like 1,200 yards on the season.
Yeah. And the Titans got Tony Pollard. All right. Chargers,
There you go.
Cardinals.
Hey,
This game
Give it-
sucked.
it sucks so bad. It was so boring. And then not only that, like Jim Harbaugh had the game won, but for some odd reason, football in his mind. And I think they may be trying not to be that good in the
So they get a
in
higher-
San
yeah.
Diego or Los Angeles, so they get a higher draft pick.
You could be right. Kyler Murray, Jets. Kyler Murray turned the Jets on this game, which is very cool. I feel the same way about the Cardinals as I feel about the Seahawks in a weird way. I know they don't have the same record. I know the Seahawks are better, but like the Cardinals are also a team where I'm like, there's no reason why they shouldn't be pretty fucking good, you know?
Yes and no. I do believe though that like they got some defensive issues, and this team
Right.
is probably not going to
Not Dennis Gardeck though, dog.
Dennis Gardeck continues to rock, and we'll always be a fan of that guy. Now, the one thing, if you look at it, the Chargers, they had an opportunity to win this game, they didn't take it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but hey, you like to see Kyler ball out. Granted, who would have thought? I just don't understand. You get rid of all your receivers in Los Angeles, and Will Dissly becomes your top receiving target this game.
You got to take what you got, man. You
So-
throw to the open man.
Will
Justin Herbert's still
Dissly.
fucking good. Still really good.
Still good. All right, let's pick some teams here, shall we?
All right. My turn this time. We are
All
on
right.
track. We're on track for if you're calling the picks and writing them, or like if you're calling them rather, you lose. So if I lose this week, then officially we have a streak where if you call them, you lose. All right.
All right.
Vikings Rams Thursday Night Football, Mike.
I think the Vikings get off the schneid. Give me the Vikings.
I thought you thought about that for too long. Vikings win that game. Packers Jaguar.
Packers.
Yeah, I fucking hate the Packers, but I'm taking them again. All right, Cardinals Dolphins. Tua back. Get a little bump.
I could see the Dolphins winning this game if Tua's back.
I know, me too. And at home, I'm taking them too, buddy. Unfortunately, 3 of the same picks. Jets Patriots. What a game in 2011. What a shit bowl this year, huh?
Yeah, I'll take the Jets because I feel like this is a perfect get-right game.
You don't think Drake May is going to outduel Aaron Rodgers? I don't either. Ravens
No.
Browns. Jameis?
The Ravens are really good. No shot.
I know. Jameis isn't going to beat Lamar and fucking that whole defense and Derrick Henry no thanks. Eagles, Bengals. In Cincinnati.
Say it.
What, malaria?
Malaria. Give me the Bengals.
All right, I'm taking the Eagles. I can't have the Bengals win. I really don't want to get malaria. All right, Colts, Texans.
Malaria. Give me the Texans.
Houston wins this game. Titans, Lions.
Oh, Lions by 1,000.
Yeah, the Titans are really, really bad. Falcons, Buccaneers. You taking Baker?
I think the Falcons get right. So give me the Falcons. Give me the Falcons, and I like some prop bets. Give me the over for Cade Otton. He's gonna ball.
Yeah.
And then give me a Drake London touchdown because that's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, he likes that, man. All right, Saints, Chargers. It's a home game for the Chargers, but it's not because they don't have a home game.
I'll take the Chargers this game. Give me the Chargers.
I really want to too. There's no parity this week. They're all so clear.
It's tough to have parity in this week, although there will be somewhere.
Bill Seahawks in Seattle.
Coming off a big. Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, but give me the Seahawks.
Oh, okay. There's the parity.
Tough. They're playing tough right now.
I know, but Amari Cooper, he's good. The Bears versus the Commanders. Who are you taking there, buddy?
Give me the Bears. I still think it's going to be a closer game than most people think.
Yes,
I think Cole Kmet's on a breakout season right now, and I think they're gonna continue to go to him. It's going to be a tough game defensively for the Bears because
Mariota.
No, meaning
if he
like
plays
the defense. No, the defense. Let me put it offensively for the Bears if they can't protect Caleb Williams. So our offensive line needs to be really good this game. Otherwise, I'm fearing that they got DeAndre Payne. They got some glass eaters in the middle on this front four.
It's give or take.
There.
I'd say there's two guys on the line that are good, and there's two guys on the line that are bad. I think the offensive line has played a little bit better the last couple of weeks, but we haven't played a lot of great talent in the last couple of weeks either. So gotta watch out.
Well, I think they're definitely going to want to win for Montez Sweat because this is like his first time back.
Revenge game.
I think Montez Sweat's going to be really gunning after Marcus Mariota, who's okay, but he played the Panthers, so
he's not even okay. I think he's pretty bad. Chiefs, Raiders.
Chiefs.
Yep. Panthers, Broncos.
Give me the Broncos.
Andy Dalton has worn off. They should just put Bryce back in and call it a day.
Yeah, you knew it was a matter of time, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, just put him back in. Like, what's the fucking loss? At least give him some trade value. Cowboys, 49ers in Santa Clara. This time.
No shot do the Cowboys win this game. Give me.
You sure they don't have any receivers out? I'll take the fucking Cowboys. Dude, 49ers
bold
don't have
strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it works out.
Ricky Pearsall. Giants, Steelers in Pittsburgh. The Yinzers.
Give me the Steelers.
Me too. Daniel Jones sucks. All right. Those are our picks of the week, kids.
I love them. I love it. I think we got a solid board. We're going to be wrong somewhere because that's usually what always happens.
Yep.
So
we've actually never gone perfect ever. So it's definitely going to happen.
And the week I do, I won't bet anything.
Yep.
So
100%.
That's the story, Morning Glory. But Vince, we got our picks. We got a lot of parity this upcoming week. Start of the World Series. We got a lot of things to look forward to in the sports world. You know what's something else you should start looking forward to, people, is the fact that these gentlemen will be back every Thursday to give you that. So stay tuned. We appreciate the views as always. Thank you so much. The views are going up, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us now over this amount of time. If you haven't gone and followed and shared it and
do it,
given it as a gift to a close friend or perhaps a brother or a sister or a brother from another mother or a sister from another mister, make sure you do so. And as always, we will see you next week.
Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.